Hey everyone, I'm Kendra, Assistant Race Director for the 2023 Mount Taylor Quadrathlon, and I'm here with local volunteer and my husband, Michael. And today we're going to talk to you about gear.
There's a lot of equipment involved to get you from Grants to the top of Mount Taylor and back during the winter quadrathlon. And hopefully we'll answer some questions you might have about that equipment, as well as just give a general overview of what we've used in the past and seen others use.
We know that it can be really expensive to put together all the gear you need to solo a race like the quad. So we're going to give you a list of best practices, things that we have found work really well for people over the years. But what we want you to know is that we want you here no matter what you've got. So bring the equipment you have a good day on the mountain, learn some lessons, and maybe next year you'll come back with a different kit. And it's always a fine-tuning process to dial in your gear for the quad. But let's get started by talking about the bike course and bike selection. The entire bike course is paved, and we get a lot of really great support from the local highway department. They typically sweep the road within a few days of the race, and it's in great shape. But there is a chance that if we get weather, snow, rain, things like that, the night before the race or maybe the day of the race, there could be cinders on the road and maybe some icy spots. So just be prepared for that. We find that most people have the best luck on a traditional road bike or even a gravel bike setup. Either of those would be fine. If you're really competitive, of course, you'll lean toward that more aggressive race style road bike. But if you're just out to finish the race and have a good day for yourself, a gravel bike will definitely do just fine. We have a lot of folks, not a lot, but we have some folks who will do the race on a mountain bike. If you go that route, just know that the increased weight and drag of the mountain bike will make it a little tougher to get up the hill, but you'll get there. So if that's the route you want to take, we support you in that, but know that it might be a little bit harder.
I'm going to cover some of the clothing selections for the bike, both up and down. Typically, the bike starts pretty cold, especially on some of our clearer days. It can be pretty chilly in town. I tend to start a little bit cold, just knowing that as you start to climb out of Grants, you're going to warm up pretty considerably. Usually we do have a little bit of a headwind on the way up the mountain as you get the cold air from the mountain that's descending into the valley. So I like to start with kind of my mid layers on and maybe a shell, depending, especially something I can easily unzip on the climb. And then I found that I like a little bit heavier glove on the bike just because your hands aren't doing a whole lot, other than holding onto the handlebars and shifting. And then I've also found the shoe covers or the overshoes to be really beneficial for keeping your toes warm because they can get quite cold even on the way up. On the way back down, I don't usually spend time to put like the overshoes and stuff back on. Depending on how the day went, sometimes it can be warmer in the afternoon. I might throw it back on like a wind shell or something else similar for the descent, just to get you back to town. And knowing that it's one of the faster legs of the race, at least you can kind of tolerate getting a little bit warmer, a little bit cold if you have to.
And if you're really into gear and fine-tuning your setup, know that there's not a lot of flat riding on the bike course. You ride a couple miles flat through Grants, and then you ascend Mount Taylor up the main paved road that takes you up to the mountain. And it's a pretty steep and slow climb. The flip side of that is that it's a very fast descent. So if you're looking at gearing, just understand that you need to go really slow and really fast. If you don't really care about tuning your setup to that degree, whatever standard gears you've got on your bike will get you up the hill and back.
The last thing I'd like to mention is just kind of your standard bike maintenance kit, a basic tool, some tire levers, a pump or a CO2 filling setup, and then a tube as well. Yeah, that can get you out of a bind, at least keep you in the race if something happens along the way.